to welcome everybody to the City of Saco Council meeting for Monday, January 29th, 2024. Let the record reflect the meeting to start at 6:30. Would like to note that we do have all members present this evening, including City Administrator Bahenko. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, and that now takes us to item number 4, which is general correspondence, and there is no general correspondence this evening. Item number 5, committee correspondence to council. Are there any committee correspondence? Councilor Archer?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Mayor. I just wanted to, the Chamber had its annual meeting last Thursday, and I just wanted to point out 3 Saco entities received awards to include Funtown as our large business of the year, Blue Elephant Cater, who happens to be here in the moment, and our own, sorry, wrong day. Wow.
Age friendly.
Age Friendly, thank you very much. Age Friendly for their transportation work. I appreciate that. The mayor was there to give a speech, so she was present as well. Just wanted to give out that 3 out of the 5 winners were from our community. So good work and keep up the good stuff that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other correspondence? Okay, not seeing any. We now move on to item number 6, and that is public comment. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak? Please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes. Okay, not seeing any members wishing to be recognized. Move on to item number 7, and that is the approval of the minutes for December 18th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilor Berman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Gunn. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, roll call vote. Councilor Archer.
Aye.
Councilor Parks.
Yes.
Councilor Gunn.
Yes.
Councilor Berman.
Yes.
Councilor Hatch.
Yes.
Councilor Hewitt.
Yes.
And Councilor Johnston.
Yes.
Motion to approve the minutes passes 7-0. Okay, next item on the agenda tonight, item number 8, is the consent items. We do have a few appointments here. Item number A, combined massage therapist and established license for Preston Redwine. Item B, confirm the mayor's reappointments and the appointments to the Long Range Planning Committee of Peg Poulin, reappointment, Melissa Fields, reappointment, Sandra Gay, reappointment, Mike Eon, reappointment, Matt Pravenkel, reappointment, and Alyssa Boutot, appointment. Item C is confirm the mayor's reappointment to the Shoreline Commission, and that is Craig Wood, Mark Sladen, and Kevin Roach. Item D, confirm the mayor's appointment to the Shoreline Commission of John Molina. Item E, confirm the mayor's appointment to the Traffic Safety Committee, Christopher Nucci. Item F, confirm the mayor's appointment to the Conservation Commission, John Marsley. And item G, confirm the mayor's appointment to the Saco River Corridor Commission, Don Pylon. Is there a motion to approve the consent items? Or any discussion, anything that needs to be moved? Councilor Johnston?
I'm all set with the way it's laid out. I don't need to pull it. I just have 2 questions, matter of clarification. That being G, which is Don Pylon. I believe we previously did this back in November, perhaps?
Thank you, Your Honor. Counselor, what happened is their paperwork didn't get processed, so unfortunately you have to go back and reappoint. They have to appoint, then they have to get their paperwork in with 30 days.
Okay.
So they,
Just wasn't sure if I was
no, you were right.
losing my mind.
You're right.
And then the other one was the long-range planning, the appointment. We're appointing Ms. Boutot as a citizen. There's still be an opening for a planning board member. I just wanted to make sure
Correct.
we're going to fill that too.
Yep, we do have the liaison from the planning board replacing her, and we moved her down, and she asked to stay on as a resident.
Thank you.
We actually have one for the planning board and one for economic development. Okay, any other questions or motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Hatch. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Johnston. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
And Counselor Johnston?
Yes.
Motion to approve the consent items passes 7-0. Now takes us to item number 9 in the action items. First item tonight is a public hearing, renewal application for special entertainment permit with Riverwinds Farm. And that is assigned to Counselor Archer.
Yes, thank you. Beth Austin, owner of Riverwinds Farm and Estate, DBA RW Events, has applied for a renewal of the establishment's special entertainment permit. This permit will be concurrent with the establishment's liquor license. The applicant has paid all applicable permit fees, and the clerk has properly advertised the public hearing in accordance with Saco City Code, Chapter 93, Entertainment 93, Tac 2. I move to open the public hearing.
Motion has been made to approve, to open the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Counselor Johnston. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
And Counselor Johnston?
Yes.
Motion to open the public hearing passes 7-0. If there are any members of the public wishing to speak, please step to the podium. Okay, we're not seeing any members. Counselor Archer.
I move to close the public hearing and be it ordered that the City Council grant the renewal application submitted by Beth Austin, owner of Riverwinds Farm and Estate, doing business as RW Events, for a special entertainment permit for events as per the current contract zone agreement, and said permit to be concurrent with the establishment's liquor license. I move to approve the order.
Motion has been made by Counselor Archer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Berman. Any discussion? Counselor Hatch.
Thank you, Mayor McPhail. I have no problem with the application. I was just concerned about having some additional information before us. I believe, Councilor Archer, you helped sort of mediate an amendment to the contract zone, which was very helpful, so we appreciate that. And it did require that, if I'm correct, that there was a limit of 20 self-sponsored events, and that those events would be individually permitted by the code department. I don't see any evidence in the paperwork that that standard had been met. And I just think for this and moving forward for this and any other contract zone that has requirements associated with it, that we should get some sort of updated report, whether if the code enforcement office was in charge of issuing these permits, a simple report indicating dates and times of those permits. And I don't see that in here. So I just want to make sure that we're enforcing not only this contract, but there are several other contract zones that have requirements in them. And then I have one other issue, and it's just a point of clarification. I did get a chance to tour the facility. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. It was a few years ago. My recollection is that there was some issue relative to having a portable bathroom, and then that was to be converted to, that was temporary, that was going to be converted to permanent. So I'd like an update on the reporting of the events and then the bathroom situation, so.
If I might, Your Honor?
Absolutely, please.
I'll take the bathroom issue first. We have worked with the applicant, and we have come to an agreement. We gave them 3 options. They chose one option, and both planning and the building department are satisfied with the option they chose. The second one, relative to the 20 events, I don't have that information, but I made note of it. I was unaware that there would be a need for a report, but I will certainly, in the future, when something in a contract zone does call for something like that, I'll make sure the city council has the information. I'm not sure if, I probably don't want to put Emily Prescott on the spot tonight, but maybe I will. Emily, are you familiar at all with the number of events? I suppose we could ask the applicant, but the contract zone called for 20 events per year. Are you familiar at all with that?
We're familiar with tracking events, and they get tracked between the code office and the planning office, depending on if they're in season or if the council, remember, there's some off-season event requirements as well. I don't have the number in front of me. I didn't know you would need that tonight, but I'm happy to report it in the city administrator's office.
I have made a note of Councilor Hatch's inquiry, so what we'll do going forward, I'll make sure if there's things like this that come up again, we'll make sure we put that in the report to the council.
Okay. And I will be happy to make my affirmative vote subject to having complied with that contract requirement. I'm assuming they did. I think from a transparency perspective for the general public, it would make everybody's life a lot easier to just get this out on the table.
Sure.
And we can all see that there has been
Sure.
compliance, so.
And quite frankly, it wasn't because we didn't want to do it.
No,
It's just
appreciate that.
unaware of what was required for the city council agenda.
And it's a great segue into one of our other items this evening, which I have been a firm supporter of, so.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. but
No,
okay,
no,
you did.
and I don't want to pick on this application.
No, no,
because it's one of several that have similar requirements that
Yep.
need
Yep.
some monitoring.
Yes,
So
yep.
my point's been made, so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you, Emily.
Thank
Councilor
you.
Hess, we do have the applicant here if you
Yeah, I mean, we could
wanted
ask.
to ask if, no, okay.
Don't want to talk, okay? Yeah. I'll find out and get it out to the council.
Okay. Okay, motion has been made by Councilor Rocher. Oh, Councilor Johnston.
I just would like to throw my support behind Councilor Hatch's comments. I think that it's imperative we have all that information in the packet. Additionally, when it's convenient, if we could have a more detailed explanation as to what the outcome with the bathroom facilities were, because there was a lot of conflicting information in years past, and I had asked the previous
Right.
city manager for that, and it never trickled down to us, so.
For some reason, I thought I sent you a copy, but maybe maybe I didn't. But I will get you a copy of what we sent out.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion or comments? Okay, roll call vote. I'm sorry, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnston. Roll call vote, Councilor Rocher?
Aye.
Councilor Parks?
Yes.
Councilor Gunn?
Yes.
Councilor Berman?
Yes.
Councilor Hatch?
Yes.
Councilor Hewitt?
Yes.
And Councilor Johnston?
Yes.
And if I might, Your Honor, just in the future, if council members happen to notice something like that, even if it's on the weekend, certainly give me a call or send me a text, because then I can get you an answer for Monday night. All righty? Thanks.
Thank you. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, next item on the agenda tonight is item B, first reading, housekeeping ordinance amendments to Chapter 179, 188, and 230. And that is assigned to Councilor Hatch.
Thank you, Mayor McPhail. City staff worked together to identify areas of ambiguity within Chapters 179, 188, and 230 of SACO's ordinance. The overall goal of the housekeeping ordinance amendment is to add cross-references to other key ordinance sections, clarify uses and definitions, and to remove duplicate uses and definitions, and better align zoning descriptions with the uses within the zones. Planning staff is also looking to make the proposed revisions as clear as possible. At its new business discussion, the City Council agreed to workshop these amendments on February 12th. I move to approve the first reading of the housekeeping ordinance amendments to Chapter 179, which is site plan review, Chapter 188, subdivision of land, and Chapter 230, zoning, and to forward to the planning board and further to schedule City Council's public hearing regarding these revisions on March 4th, 2024.
Second.
Motion has been made by Counselor Hatch, second by Counselor Johnston. Any discussion? Counselor Johnston?
I mean, at this point, it seems pretty straightforward, but I just want to clarify that no actual changes have taken place since the last time we discussed this. We're kind of just moving forward by running this concurrently with the planning board. So,
Correct.
okay.
Yep, we're getting the first reading scheduled, getting the first reading completed so we can get the next one after the workshop on the 12th. Any other discussion or comments? Okay, roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
And Counselor Johnston?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, that now takes us to item C, and that's the first reading. Petition for zoning map amendment filed by Bedard Properties LLC to change the zoning of a portion of map 87, lot 17, from rural conservation to West Residential Zoning District. And that is assigned to Counselor Archer.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Bedard Properties LLC, represented by DM Roma Consulting Engineers, has filed the enclosed petition for a zoning map amendment to change the zoning of a portion of map 87, lot 17, from the rural conservation to the West Residential Zoning District. This amendment request is scheduled for a planning board public hearing on February 6, 2024. I move to approve the first reading of the zoning map amendment petition for the indicated portion of map 87, lot 17, and to schedule the public hearing for February 26, 2024.
Motion has been made by Counselor Archer. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Counselor Gunn. Any discussion on this item? Okay, not seeing any. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
And Counselor Johnston?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, that now takes us to item D, and that is a first reading. Petition for zoning map amendment filed by Kafusa Management Company, LLC, to change the zoning of map 55, lots 1, 1-1, 3, and 6 from business industrial to highway business zoning district, and that is assigned to Counselor Hatch.
Thank you, Mayor McPhail. I guess in repetition, I will say that Kafua Management Company LLC, represented by Archipelago Law, has filed the enclosed petition for zoning map amendment to change the zoning of map 55, lots 1, 1-1, 3, 5, and 6 from the business industrial or BI zone to the highway business HB zoning district. This amendment request is scheduled for a planning board public hearing on February 6, 2024. I move to approve the first reading of the zoning map amendment petition for map 55, lots 1, 1-1, 4, 5, and 6, and to schedule the public hearing for February 26, 2024.
Motion has been made by Counselor Hatch. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Berman. Any discussion?
Oh, I'm full of comments, but I'll move, I'll move this along, and
Okay. Alrighty, not seeing any discussion or comment. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
And Counselor Johnston?
yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, that now takes us to item E, and that is a budget amendment, number 3, full-time compliance position in the planning department. And that is assigned to Counselor Hatch.
Thank you, Mayor McPhail. The Planning Department has demonstrated the need for a full-time position to monitor compliance with contract zone agreements, site plan reviews, subdivision reviews, and other such planning approvals. This amendment to the fiscal year '24 budget proposes funding that headcount through TIF funds, cost recovery funds, and use of fund balance as noted in the attached budget amendment request form. Be it ordered that City Council approves the first reading of a budget amendment number 3, fiscal year 2024, and moves to schedule a second and final reading for February 5th, 2024. I move to approve the order.
Motion has been made by Counselor Hatch. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Berman. Any discussion? Okay, not seeing any. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Okay, that completes the action items for this evening. Next item tonight is item 10, new business, and that is City Hall hours.
Do you want me to speak to that, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
What I'd like to do is just talk a little bit about the hours that we're proposing. Those hours would be continuing the hours we have Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then on Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let me explain how we get there. Presently, the City Hall staff has an hour for lunch. I did a survey of all the City Hall staff, and they felt comfortable having a half hour for lunch. So we would revert to a half hour for lunch and have no lunch on Fridays, and employees would then, the City Hall would close at 1 p.m. What I'm suggesting is that this be a 120-day pilot program. We will work with Communications Department to get information out to the public through our website, plus ads, plus a number of other places that we can reach out to people to let them know. This is something that I think we need to do to try to provide a no-cost item for retention. For your information, and you probably saw it in the attachments, that many communities have gone to a 4-day work week. I didn't feel comfortable enough right now to suggest that. I think it's something more or less, let's see how this goes, let's see what reactions are. And for no cost to the city at all, I think we can improve a work environment for people to retain people. So basically, that is what I've put forward, and there's no approval needed. I think what I'm doing, if there is concern, I certainly would like to hear that, but I think what I will do is I will keep track of any concerns that people might have, and I would encourage the City Council to do the same thing and pass them along to me when you get them or if you get them, so that I can follow up and keep them on file. That's what I have, Your Honor.
Okay, any questions for City Administrator? Counselor Johnston?
Thank you. Just to clarify, when we say we're now closing at 1 p.m. on Friday, is that every department in the building, or is that just forward-facing?
The City Hall, every department in the City Hall,
Including your office?
including my office, yeah.
Okay. So I stated privately I had concerns with this,
Yep.
This direction. I've watched this organization change its hours several times in the last decade, to the point where I'd be hard-pressed to tell you what time City Hall is actually open, except it's before me in the packet. So I'm concerned. As I stated to you, I'll trust your judgment on this, as I have previous administrators, but this has consistently been and again, maybe it's just people that like to give me a hard time on this subject. I wouldn't put it past them. But specifically, this is one that, even not this past weekend, but the prior weekend, I had somebody needling me about City Hall hours. So again, I can accept the 120-day pilot or whatnot. I would ask that, again, as I stated to you previously, I would like to see us do a comprehensive analysis of what we currently provide online, and perhaps areas we can improve that, because, to be honest, I'm not fully equipped to tell people, what they can and cannot do online. I know I personally do the majority of business online myself, but there is a large population in the city of Saco that does not understand how to go about doing that.
And-
So, let me finish, please.
Yeah, sure.
With that, I would also like to see some creation of some kind of how-to manual. Perhaps that's something age-friendly Saco does. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for them, but certainly I think that's something that would be needed for, again, an older population that doesn't necessarily understand how to access what's out there. Additionally, I think a survey to the citizens would be beneficial in this 120 days. And then additionally, the consideration, again, I'll leave this in your wheelhouse, but reinstating weekend hours, even if that's just a kiosk that people can come in here and access computer, because they're, again, an older population, they don't have internet access. And years ago, and I mean this is years ago, decades ago, they used to have Saturday morning hours at City Hall. Again, I understand we're trying to make this, work, I guess, better for employees, but maybe we figure out how to shorten their hours somewhere else for a certain staff that would be able to open up City Hall for, this type of service, because it is something I hear, not just from the elderly, but from the working population that don't get out of work till 6 p.m., and they want to see an actual human being, not do things online.
Sure.
So those are just my suggestions, and we'll take it one day at a time and see where we go.
Sure. May I respond? Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Those are all great questions. One of the things I did in a previous community is, like you said, set up an area where people can come in. And the idea was to actually have somebody be able to walk somebody through a process so that we give them a more comfortable feeling getting online. So if you have a city staff person there to look at, we could put the kiosk somewhere in City Hall where people could ask for help, and we would assign somebody to maybe in that area to be able to help the person to walk them through the online, so that for the first time, if they want to do it online, they can come in and do it online. But that's something I'll be talking with communications about. I think it's a good point. This 120-day period will also look at other options that you brought up. I think it's important to maybe be open late one night so that people coming home from work can be there. I had a situation where I did go to 6 p.m. in another community. It worked out very well. But this is really just to tip our toe in the water, just to see what's, I think you're absolutely right. I don't want to confuse anybody. I think changing hours multiple times, and I'm not aware of that, but I will certainly look that up, is important that we try to stay consistent. And I agree with everything you said. Let me do this 120 days. I've surveyed the staff, but we'll survey people out in the community as well. So I appreciate those comments. And probably I will let you know when we go to that. We'll do all the publicity for when we're going to change the hours, but it won't be tomorrow. Or, it's going to be enough time to give people the knowledge that will happen. But like I said, you've made some great points there, and I'll be following up on those.
Any other questions or comments? Counselor Hatch?
I just wanted to weigh in, very supportive of a creative approach to, getting our employees into a comfort level. And I know we have competitive factors in place as well. One of the things that, from my banking career, we always struggled with is a customer service orientation. That's what City Hall is. And so when you start playing with public access hours, it gets a little dicey. So I appreciate Councilor Johnson's comments. I would agree with them. And City Administrator Bahenko, I'm confident you're going to take some notes, and we're going to figure out if this works and tweak it as we go, and as a sitting councilor, I would also challenge the rest of us, and I'll hold myself to this challenge, if we get commentary from the public, that we funnel it to you, so we can have a complete
Yeah.
view of what's going on.
As you get it, I'd appreciate getting
Yeah.
it in so I could follow up on it.
Counselor Gunn.
I think Councilor Berman had a question. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Oh, okay. Counselor Berman first.
Yeah, just maybe for our information to the public, do you have a sense of what the current public engagement is on Friday afternoons? How much traffic we have?
We've been keeping track of that. It varies. Probably on Friday afternoons, the average department might be seeing 3 to 5 people. But, you know, that doesn't account for somebody coming in, you know, maybe there's a large group coming in for permits. But if people understand that it's the times, most people will pay, will try to come in at those times. Again, I think if we get into the communications department, getting the information out, I think it would be helpful. Also, I may have to, I'll talk to the communications department about that survey. I think it's important to find out from our citizens what they see. And I will also get a list of what's online. We'll put that together and catalog it for the council so that they're aware of it. Okay? Does that answer your question?
Counselor Gunn.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To City Administrator Bahenko, I just had one question and sort of 2 requests. The question is more of a clarifying one, because you said on Friday, to make the whole thing work, there's going to be no lunch, although in the commentary, we got a paid 30-minute lunch break on Fridays. So essentially, they still got lunch on Fridays, it's going to be on the clock?
That's
That's
incorrect.
erroneous?
Yeah, that's an incorrect statement. I must have missed that.
It's on the last paragraph, it says, paid 30-minute lunch break on Fridays. Because I remember when you first brought
No,
this up.
Monday through Thursday, it would be an unpaid 30-minute lunch break. On Fridays,
And a paid
Yeah,
30-minute lunch break.
that's a
on Fri-
mistake.
Yeah, That's why I want to make
That's a
sure, though,
mistake.
because
Yeah.
because if that was the arrangement, I'd be like, as I was employed, yeah, that sounds great.
no,
but
that's
so
a
yeah.
mistake. There's no
Okay.
lunch on Fridays.
Okay, so
Well, I'll ask Emily to come up.
Yeah.
But,
because you know me, I'm very pro-lunch, though, so I want to make sure that everybody is happy with this, though, because of the arrangement, you know.
I would say we are requiring employees take a 30-minute lunch break under the Department of Labor regulations so that they are taking a break. So that's why that was worded as a paid 30-minute lunch, and the rest of the week it's an unpaid lunch in order to make that 1 o'clock closure.
yeah, well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I think I've done it before in other places, and no lunch on Friday, and so we'll talk about it. Okay.
Okay, well, as a follow-up to the end of my question, though, I think, you know, again, I'm not in staff matters, though, but I think morale, I think that would be a nice little perk, though. I mean, especially if, like I said, if you have communities around us that are closing on Fridays completely, I'm definitely not there yet in terms of that. I think the city hall should be Monday through Friday, just as a baseline. I mean, call me old-fashioned, though, but I think, obviously, you know, that actually might be something that would be considered a perk, though. But that's just my opinion. I'll throw that out there. 2 other points I want to make was, I do know in the past, because I've taken advantage of this, if community members or community organizations want to have a meeting at City Hall and they want to meet in the afternoon, invariably they will come maybe 4 or 5 o'clock at a point where the City Hall essentially closes their business hours while we're meeting. I know I had a couple meetings with the former mayor and a couple of folks up at Ross Ridge and some other developments, and you know, we having key access, though, you know, we had the meeting, we made sure they were all left at the end, we left, and everything was all good. That being said, would closing early on Friday preclude the possibility of any counselor, or I guess the mayor for that matter, hosting any sort of these community meetings that we do from time to time? Because at that point, there would be no sort of overlay between open and closed, though. I mean, if it was 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it would have been long after the time was closed. Would there be any issue with that from your perspective?
Well, I don't think so. As long as it's an advance notice, contact my office, we'll
Yeah.
put it on the calendar,
Yeah.
then the building department, maintenance knows and can set the doors to be opened at a certain time and to close at a certain time.
Okay.
So that can work, as long as, it works only if you contact us and let us know in advance that you're going to need a particular room, and we'll reserve it for you. We will pass that along to Don at Buildings, and he will remotely either open the doors at a certain time, and then if the council member tells us when they feel they should be locked, we'll make sure they're locked.
Okay.
Yeah, he was mentioning to the public as well.
Yes, because that's the thing is, if you hold the meeting after, say you're establishing the meeting in one place in the hall, you want the doors open so you don't have to basically be a doorman. The worst thing is to have a meeting and have somebody out there and they're locked and they can't get in and they have no way of contacting you. So, I just want, it's more of a clarification.
Sure,
really.
so what you can do is you can, if you want to, you can contact my office, and we will put it on the calendar, and we'll get it off to Don, and he can remotely open the doors and keep them unlocked till the council member feels that they should be locked again.
Excellent.
Is that
Good.
okay?
Yep. And I guess the last one I have is just more of a request. I think when we get into the, whether it's a primary season, general election, or if we have to have a mid-year special election, I would advocate keeping at least the city clerk's office open, close to regular hours on Friday to facilitate people that want to vote absentee. Again, I think it's just as a public service, though. You want to get as many people voting if they insist on coming down to City Hall, which I would, honestly, because that's how I vote. Keep it open on Friday. That would be my one exception to the rule going forward. That I think that would be a good idea for.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that.
It's just a suggestion.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions or comments for City Administrator Bahanko? Councilor Ratcher.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just 2 points. With DOL, it's 6 hours. You have to take a lunch within 6 hours. So on Friday, it's actually less than the mandatory max. So you would be good if there was no lunch.
I'll chat I'll
And
chat it over.
that's an HR thing, so. yeah.
Thank you.
And the second point is Councilor Johnston brought up an idea of like a kiosk on Saturdays. Is it possible that we utilize maybe our partners, for example, the Dyer Library? They have, on Saturdays, they're open from 9:30 to 12:30 or 12?
12:30.
And if maybe one of their staffers, or maybe we can provide some training materials to them, they can use the computers there on Saturday and possibly in partnership with a provider, provide informational assistance as needed.
That's a good idea, all right.
I just don't, this is where I'm being a little conservative. It's, heating is expensive, and to open up this, like here, it would be logistically, you have to open up Saturday, where we already have partners that operate internet. We already have partners that can inform participants.
It may be what we can do is train the trainer type of situation
Yeah.
where we have people that know how to access and do the online type of business. And if the Dyer Library is interested in working with us on that, then we can have somebody go to them, and if they are interested, we have them train the people that would be helping people if that's need be. So that's some great suggestions here, and I will talk it over with the staff tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Councilor Parks.
I just want to say that I have no problem with the idea of the pilot program in and of itself, but I just want to know for my own benefit, for my own knowledge, is 120 days appropriate amount of time to gauge the benefits that are being proposed inside this memo, like things like employee retention or work-life harmony satisfaction? Is that 120 days going to be enough time, or are we going to come back in 3 months and say, we need another 2 months to actually get more data?
If I might, Your Honor. The point of the 120 days is really for, not so much for the employees, but more to gauge the public reaction. And that's why I'm asking is if you get anything, if you get public reaction to it, then provide me that information so that so in 120 days, I will be able to come back and say, this is what we had for feedback, and then go from there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I
Council Archer?
Just clarification, we're not going to be voting on this, correct? This looks like an internal policy. Okay, just, now that's not like an ordinance or rule, I do request that you have the ability to reassess this at any given point in time. That's why I brought it up. I wasn't sure if we were going to vote on it or if it was just,
I can do that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, item 11 is the administrative update. City Administrator Mahenko?
There is only one item that I wanted to update the council on, and I'll get it out in a second. Yes. The RFP, Transportation Building Security Services, the city of Saco is requesting proposals to provide security services for our transportation. Amtrak building located at 138 Main Street in Saco. The job duties will be that the station is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. There will be a 20 to 25-hour a week variable schedule. The transportation building serves as a boarding and destination platform for Amtrak Downeaster as well as BSOOB Transit. Amtrak Downeaster trains arrive and depart at 10 different times throughout the day, and BSOP's Transport has a rotating bus schedule that leaves and returns approximately every 40 minutes. Submittals will be accepted until February 12th, 2024 at 1 p.m. So we're following up on the request to try to enhance security down at the train station.
Any questions for City Administrator? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you. Item 12, that is council discussion and comment. Any councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Johnston.
Thank you. Like I said, I have 3 items, and they're really all directed at the administrator, and I'm not expecting any answer this evening. Clearly, some of these things existed before your time here.
Sure.
First thing I've seen or I've had sent to me, comments online, on Facebook, whatnot, from the, forgive me if I get this wrong, but essentially the Firefighters Association, Union, something along those lines.
IAFF?
Yes. Basically stating that, Saco Fire Department's understaffed and we're at critical situations. And again, I am just paraphrasing, basically, from what I've seen, which I guess, me personally, I take exception to that, given that the city council has continuously hired staffing for that department. So I'm just curious, and again, obviously, the fire chief's not here, but where are we at with staffing? Is this a critical situation as it's been described? So I'm just kind of looking for an update. It can be internal or whatnot. I just, like I said, I kind of take it personally when the way it's been phrased is almost as if city council hasn't done anything to address the situation, and I think we have. Yeah. So there's that, and then I believe it was fiscal year 2023, I had prepared an amendment to the budget for a bypass road feasibility study that would have been through Director Fox. Council supported it, so we funded it, and I'm just looking for an update as to has that been performed, and if so, where are we at? And obviously, I'd love to see that before council, because it's something I think is critical to the infrastructure needs in Saco. And then lastly, again, prior budget cycle, if not 2 budgets, council or prior councils have funded various, whether it's positions or resources towards the potential for hybrid city council meetings where we allow for public participation from home, and the recording of several other meetings outside of just city council. And I'm curious where we are with that, because I consistently still hear from members of the public that would like to, say, do public comment from their living room.
So I will, rather than try to answer any of those tonight, I will get a written report back to the council, and I'll try to do the fire department for next Monday. So But the others don't look like it's, the number 2, the bypass road,
Yeah, just to clarify, and again, this is before
Not familiar.
your time. So when Chipotle or whoever that parent company that did the contract zone agreement came forward for that, part of that agreement was to get access or easement to a portion of the back property. There's been a longstanding plan to create a bypass road from Smith Lane over to Stockman. And so the idea at the budget time was to fund a feasibility study to see what the cost would be. And like I said, that was probably 2 years ago now.
okay, well, that's an easy one to try to get. I'll
Like I
get
said,
that for you.
Director Fox would
Yep.
certainly know.
Certainly will do that. So I'll talk to the fire chief tomorrow about your first question. I'll talk to Director Fox about your second question. And I'll talk to communications about your third question.
Anyone else? Counselor Hatch?
Thank you, Mayor McPhail. I've told you this before, I'm not here to patronize you. I am here to compliment you. I think it was no secret that one of your first goals and objectives as a new mayor was to revisit the various commissions and boards, to make appointments where appropriate. Having been a part of that process with you and vetting, I just want to publicly commend you for rallying to get that job done. I know there's still more to come, and I think you're doing a fabulous job in helping us appoint good quality members to these various boards and commissions, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Counselor Archer?
Council Hatch, you beat me to it, because I have a number on my computer right now, so I didn't forget. We've conducted 22 appointments and reappointments. I was about to give the same speech, and I had already counted. That's just for this month alone. So I recognize it as well, and we can't function without operating boards and commissions and some of our various other committees, so I also recognize it and had already done the research on how many we did. Yeah. But you beat
Thank
me.
you.
She looked left instead of right.
Okay, anyone else? Counselor Gunn?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On the lightest of topics, did I see correctly that tomorrow there is a celebrity scoop thing at the Saco Scoop?
Yes, there is.
Could you
That
tell?
is
let-
for
let
the Saco Middle School PTO
Okay,
from 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
And there are members of staff, as well as myself and Deputy Fire Chief David Pendleton will be the on hand, and the proceeds of all of the sales go back to the Saco Middle School PTO.
Well, I think ice cream in the middle of winter sounds pretty good. I'll see you all there.
Okay, next item on the agenda this evening is executive session. Is there a motion to enter executive session? Counselor Berman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Be it ordered that the City Council enter into executive session pursuant to MRSA Title I, Chapter 13, Subchapter 1, Subsection 405-6. That's C, negotiations regarding renewal of cell tower lease.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Counselor Hatch. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer?
Aye.
Counselor Parks?
Yes.
Counselor Gunn?
Yes.
Counselor Berman?
Yes.
Counselor Hatch?
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt?
Yes.
Counselor Johnston?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to enter executive session. We will meet downstairs in the conference room.
work for the Department of Labor, you totally remember all those rules, and they don't leave your head unless the rule changes. Plus, I reinforce it to my staff all the time, because they're all out. Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. Is there a motion to exit from executive session at 7:40?
So moved.
Motion has been made by Counselor Hatch. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Counselor Hewitt. Is there any report? I'm sorry, any comment? Roll call vote. Counselor Archer.
Aye.
Counselor Parks.
Yes.
Counselor Gunn.
Yes.
Counselor Berman.
Yes.
Counselor Hatch.
Yes.
Counselor Hewitt.
Yes.
Counselor Johnston.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to exit executive session. Is there a report?
No report.
No report, Madam Mayor.
Okay, that now takes us to item 15, which is an adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Counselor Hatch. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Johnston. Roll call vote. Counselor Archer.
No.
Counselor Parks.
Yes.
Counselor Gunn.
Let's have a little fun. No.
Counselor Berman.
Yes.
Counselor Hatch.
Definitely yes.
Counselor Hewitt.
Yes.
Counselor Johnston.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn passes 5-2. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.